GraphicCon is a one-day convention held in Sudbury, Ontario to promote literacy and the arts by celebrating various forms of media and creative expression found in popular culture. That is the Google definition, or Google explaining what GraphicCon is, but essentially GraphicCon is a convention, and yeah, it celebrates literacy and reading and all that fun stuff. And I had a booth this year, so like that was super fun and super exciting, and I loved it so much. I was a bit anxious leading up to it, and I had a table at GraphicCon this year, which was so exciting. And I just wanted to kind of talk about it and talk about my experience and all that stuff. So how did this all start? Essentially, I was scrolling through Instagram and I saw a vendor call out for GraphicCon, and I was like, oh my gosh, that could be so fun. And so I clicked on it, went to their website, and I looked into like the prices and stuff. And I picked what table what table size and stuff I wanted, which I believe was about $125. When I was emailing and stuff, there was a bit of a time when nobody got back to me because apparently a lot of people had left or were like going on holiday or something. I still don't fully know, but I ended up getting a phone call from the CEO or like the manager, in other words, like the top guy or like the assistant to the top guy or whoever. They ended up calling me and being like, hey, yes, you still have a table, because that's something I was wondering if I still had a table, even though because there was like a deadline on when you had to sign the contract, and I had overseen that deadline, and it was like, hey, do I still have a table? I want to make sure before I send you the money that I still have a table. And so there was a long period of quiet, and I was like, okay, maybe next year then, because like obviously they haven't got back to me, so I probably don't have my table anymore. And so I ended up getting a phone call a month or two later, and they were like, hey, you still have your table, you're actually in a really great spot. If you send us the money, we can write down that you're still coming. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I sent them the money. That was all great. I kept rereading everything. A couple days before the convention, actually I think it was the week before the convention, my friends and I all got together and they helped me with packaging things, like all the merchandise I was selling and making sure I had all the books and everything. So that went really good. There were a couple things I wasn't allowed to sell, like the art prints for The Vampire's Fall, because they're not safe for work, as well as I couldn't sell the Pokemon, like if animals were like Pokemon comic that I have, because the whole like Pokemon logo was on it. So I couldn't sell those. If anybody wants those, just send me like an email or something, and we can do like PayPal and I can send you the comic, because I would really like to get rid of it. I have so many copies. I think it's like 12 or something copies, but they're just taking up space here and I don't need them. I'm planning on making like a short, like, because I want to make all my short stories into comics, like short little comics, and then put them all into like an anthology, and a comic book anthology. But anyways, back to on topic. So there was a few things I wasn't able to sell, but we packaged up all the things I could sell. And then the day before the convention, I came in with some things and I set up my booth and I made a list of all the things I still needed. And then the next day we brought in all the things that I still needed and we set up and we waited for the convention to start. I had brought my friend Tegan with me, which I believe I mentioned in a previous video that we were doing the convention. I think it was the June. I had a big month-long vlog. So that happened. So Tegan came with me, and it was nice because then we always had somebody at the booth. So like if Tegan wanted to go walk around and look at stuff, they could. And then if I wanted to walk around and look at stuff, I could. And like one of us would always be at the booth. And so I forget how many books we sold, but it equaled out to $125. So I broke even with the table, which was really nice. I actually had a few really memorable experiences. I called them my friend. I don't know if they consider me a friend, but it was another booth person, and they sold like these little doll masks, and they had like made them by hand and all that stuff, and I thought they were so cool. I ended up buying 2 of them. I think they're so cute. So I talked to them a few times and they were so nice. I loved talking to them, and we actually like connected after the convention and talked on Instagram a bit, and I send them like my doll customs and stuff, like pictures of them and stuff, and they're so supportive. I love it. And then the person at the booth next to us, I was so excited to be next to them. He was so amazing. He makes like popular cartoon drawings, but they're in like zombie style. I forget his name, but he is amazing. He was so nice to be next to. He was such a good like table neighbor, and we were at the end, so we only had the one neighbor, and he was just so nice. Like, he didn't talk to us until the very end when he asked like how we did and if we met like expectations and everything and all that stuff, and we were like, oh yeah, we were only expecting to sell like one thing, because that was my goal, is to just sell one thing and I'd be happy. But we sold so much. Like, we still had a bunch left over, but like I was just so, I felt so verified in that moment where like I was like, oh my god, I actually sold things as an author, like this is amazing. But yeah, he was totally chill. He was so nice to be next to, and I was just so excited because I had seen him at so many conventions up here in Sudbury before, and being next to someone that I recognized was really nice. He probably didn't recognize me at all, but like it was just so nice, and he was so amazing to like all the other people around us. Like, he was very warm and very talkative to everyone. Another person who was really fun, we didn't even get to know them really, but there's like a robotics group that was there, and they have a life-size R2-D2 that just rolls around the convention, and he's like remote controlled. And every time he passed our booth, I would get so excited. I'm like, oh my god, it's R2-D2. And then he would like do his little R2-D2 whistle and like have it look at me and stuff. Oh, it was so great. Every single time. I think he went by our booth like 4 or 5 times. And I just got so excited every single time. But so there was that. And then for like actual experiences with people, like people buying the books, I had one woman who looked at my table and saw The Vampire's Fall and like rushed over. She's like, this is the type of book I need. And I was like, yep, you're my main audience. So like I sold so much of The Vampire's Fall, and then like people, because I was selling it for like, I think paperback was like 13 or something, or no, it was like 8 or 7, and then $3 for Red's Heart. Oh my gosh, I forgot my own book title. But anyways, either way, if you bought the softcover of The Vampire's Fall and you bought Red's Heart together, it would be like, it would equal out to $10. And so that was way less than what everyone else was selling their books for. Plus, I was still making a profit because I was selling them for more than what I pay with author pricing to buy the books. And so there were a few people, like she came and she's like, oh my gosh, only $10? Like, that's amazing. And so she bought both of them, and then she told like 2 or 3 other women, and they came over and they're like, hey, I heard I can get 2 books for $10. And I'm like, oh yeah, these 2 right here. And they're like, oh my gosh, yes. And then we also were handing out the first 4 chapters of Friends and Phantoms for free. So we had like a little QR code for people who want a digital copy, and then we had like, I had 20 copies of like a physical 4-chapter handout, and so we were handing those out to like middle grade people and people who were just interested in the book overall. And so there were so many people who were so excited to read it. I actually had one woman who bought Red's Heart, read it in the convention, and then came back to my table and was like, where is the second book? I need it now. And like, she reminded me of my aunt so much, because that's the same reaction my aunt had. And like, that book's been out for so long, and now I need to write a second for this woman and for my aunt. So yeah, it was such a fun experience. Like, I can't emphasize how much I actually enjoyed it. Like, we were exhausted at the end of the day, but it was so worth it, honestly. I think it was like the last 2 hours, Tegan and I just kept looking at the time and we're like, oh my god, I want Wendy's so bad. So we ended up at the end of the night, we packed up. My husband picked us up from the convention. We went home, we dropped off all my stuff, we picked up Tegan's stuff because she had slept over the night before. So we grabbed all Tegan's stuff, we went to Wendy's, then we brought Tegan home, which Tegan lives like a half hour outside Sudbury. So like, went out there, dropped her off, came home. And then it was like a whole hour and a half later when I finally got to like just lounge on the couch and be like, oh my god. But like, it still sticks with me just how amazing the experience was. I'm definitely doing it again next year. I also want to try and do the Comic-Con and whatever other conventions Sudbury has. I want to try and do as many as I can because it was such an enjoyable experience. I can't emphasize that enough, how much I enjoyed it. And like, yes, technically I broke even on the table, and like, I already had a bunch of copies of my books. I spent $100 on getting 20 copies. Rosalind's coming. I spent $100 getting 20 copies of the handouts, and I I also had like a tablet. Mickey, move! Mickey, move! Move! Come here! Come here! Good girl. Good girl, Mickey. Good girl. I know. Rosalind made you move, didn't she? She wanted to get down the stairs, though. Yes, she did. Oh. Oh, you can lay down in here. I'll let you lay down in here. Oh, yes. You go back to sleep, sweetheart. So I spent... Now Rosalind's going to be distracting me the whole time. I spent $100 on the 20 handouts. And then I had like a tablet in the middle of the table that had a playable thing of Bite Fiends, which I think there was only 2 or 3 people that actually played it, and most of them were children, which I find hilarious because it's a horror game. But like that's also the target audience nowadays, because there's like FNAF is like more kids are drawn to it, Poppy Playtime, Garden of Banban, all that stuff. They're more like geared at children, even though adults play them. I don't know. But so we had like a few children playing the game, and they would grab like we had a little printed out QR code for people to take home so they could just like play it at home too. And honestly, Bite Fiends gets so many plays. Like the Kickstarter was still running at that time, and I didn't really want to advertise the Kickstarter because like if you watched my previous video, I was kind of like down in the dumps about the Kickstarter during that month. But like it was definitely nice to see people enjoying the game. But yeah, I didn't push the Kickstarter that hard, honestly, and I didn't push Bite Fiends in general that hard. I was more focused on the books and selling the books. But yeah, what else did I lose money out on? So Tegan has a Cricut. So I paid Tegan, I think it was either $30 or $40 to help me cut out things. Like bookmarks, stickers, the little QR code things, because I had some little pieces of paper for the QR codes. And yeah, it was, yeah, so technically it was a loss, but it was still a very good experience, and I would definitely do it again. But yeah, that was how the convention went. It went really good. I really enjoyed it. Had a lot of fun experiences, met a lot of amazing people, both who were also behind booths and also just people buying things. It was a great experience. I bought some stuff. I sold some stuff. It was a loss financially, but still very enjoyable, and I would definitely do it again and hopefully be able to make my money back in the future. Yeah. If you are into vampires and werewolves and all that stuff, check out The Vampire's Fall. It is a spicy new adult book. If you are into werewolves but like something without spice, then check out Red's Heart. And I have a middle grade cozy paranormal book coming out this September called Friends and Phantoms. So if you're interested in that, be sure to subscribe, maybe check out my newsletter so you get notified right away when the book is live, and check out Bite Fiends. It's a really cute, fun little horror game, and it's free. So yeah, I will see you guys in the next one.